Hello everyone. In today's video, in our Java course, till this point we cover data types, basic how to print in Java, and what is the different type Java providers, and then we learn. Then in the further video, we learn about arrays, and then we explore the string class and also the string buffer class. If you don't watch that last part video, so I highly recommend that you to see that video and then continue with this video. So in today's video we are going to start with our function. So let's get started. And if you do not like this, do not follow this series, so I recommend you to starting from the 0th video and then see this video because it will make more sense to you. So let's get started for today's video. So our today's topic is function in Java. So in brief or in the top, what is the function definition, or what we assume when someone say what do you think about functions. So we can tell them that we can tell him that function is something which gives some argument and provide us outputs. What I'm talking, let's just Google it. What is function in any language in brief? So let me find Wikipedia page. Okay, yes, we have Wikipedia page, and what they said: fx is here for almost where is the definition of function? Okay, a function is a binary relationship between two sets that associated each element for the first set to exactly the element in the second set. Typically example of function from integer to integer and from real number to real number. Okay, so what that definition briefly said that in function, any function will be generalized way. We can assume that it will like this. It will has one input or many input argument, and then it will generate our output for us. So in language also function definition are same. You provide some argument and then it will return your answer or the calculation part of that function, depend on that which type of data is function get and which type of output function will send to us. So what is the use of function in language? So in any code or any in our day-to-day life, when we write code, then some tasks are we have to do some tasks very oftenly. Like one of the example is like, let's say you have an e-commerce website, and in that website, in the client side, you want some product data in many parts of your website. So in each part, based on user query, you are going to call that API for that fetching the data from the backend, or you can say that from the backend. So each, let's say in your website there are 10 pages, assume in all 10 pages you have to require hit the same API, but you want to get some different output or you want to manipulate that output. So what we are going to do, in 10 pages you are going to write that same code for calling the KPI, like first the first page, second page and third page, and it is very lengthy process. You can see that in 10 page we write same code, so our code repetition will more, and if someone is see our code, then it will very hard to, and it also not hard, but our code become more lengthy, and rather than rather than writing same code in each 10 pages, you can create one function and then import that function in that page, and you simply call the function. So in this way our code readability is much more higher than the first case, and also our code will be reduced and much more we can say much more understanding. But in this case, so this is the basic use of function. So what is function? I'm again repeating, function is something which in with the help of the function we can reduce our code, and our code will become easy to understand writing by the function, and our readability of code is become nice by the writing the function. One of the main use of function is that it used for reduce our code, and if you want to do repetitive tasks in our program many times, so with the help of one call function we can do that, and we can create the function. So this is all about function. So in Java you can see we have also write our first function itself in a Java. Like here you can see that we have one main function and string args are the input argument in the that function, and what is string args we will discuss in the further video. But right now assume that in this main function we get one string array as input argument, and our function will return void. Void means our function do not return anything, like our function return null, and there are various different type of data types or return type the function holds. So any function any, let me just write any function is defined by 3, and any function will defined by 3 things. One in function name itself, because we require function name for call it, and second one is input arguments, and third one will return type or return value. So return type is referred to what type of data our function will return. Input argument means in how many different input argument our function will accept and process the process from them and give the output. And another will function name, because for calling or create the function we require some specific name for define that function. So here you can see that if I break that 3 things in this main function, so you can see that here we have first string args as our input argument, then our function name is main, and our return type is void. Now what is public do not see right now, we do not require a public, but right for just main, for you remember that we write public, we will learn in oops concept. And yes, this static first also we run in the oops, but right now main 3 parts are this only in any language for create any function. And this in brief I will, if I am talking about static, though in static if you want to call the static function, so we do not require object of the class. So this is it for static. And in public to public we learn in a further video. Right now just what I can say, mug up this thing public and static we are writing here. Assume that we require for main function in if we are, and in this video we are going to see how we can create function. Then we see we do not require public here for just JVM to understand that okay, this is my main function and I have to understand that this is my main class, and in this main class I have to run the function. Do not go deeper in this. Right now we are learning functions. So what we are learn this till this point, we have functionally defined by three things. One is it return type, here it is void, then function name, and third will be input argument. So let's just create our function. So we have to just write in Java by default just habit of static. If you are using main and just testing purpose, or it depend on your application. Right now just remember we have to write here static, then just let's say our return type will be int and function name will be add, and here we are going to pass input argument. One argument will be int a and another argument will be int b, and here we are going to do sum a plus b, and here then we are going to return sum. So our lights here, if I have long as int, so here you can see that we get one error. Let's just run or see what is error we get. What error we get? So it will run lecture 8, we do not want it. Just run lecture 9, and here you can see that incompatible type, possibly losing conversion from long to int, because we are returning long and here our return type is int, so we have to return it. Here we can either do here int, I can change data type of sum, or we can here implicitly type as long to int. So our program will run fine. Let's just print our answer, system.out.println. So now you can see that we do not get any error, so we are successfully able to create our first function. So if you are writing code beside me or ongoing this lecture, so it is very useful. Like I am highly recommended to you, do not just see the video and write code by your own, because in that way you will learn most of the things, and at the end you have to code. So do not wait for it till this end the lecture, write concurrently with me so that we both learn together. So here we create our function, we learn input argument, we learn return type, then we some process here, some process we done, and then we return our answer. So here for use that function we have to call, so calling we have to write the name function, and here you can see that it accept two input arguments. So here we have to pass two integer like 12 and 30, and then I am running. So what output I will get? We get 44. So this how we, okay, again I am repeating. For creating function we require three things. One is return type, one is function name only, and another one will be the input argument. Then we have to process that data, and at the end we have to return that return type data. Otherwise, if return type is void, so we do not require to return anything. And here we have to call the function by the function name and the passing that input argument. So again I am running. Okay, so let's just see what will happen here. So let me just create that breaking point here. First, I'm not remember how we can. Okay, let's just write debugger. It is opening. Okay, how we can, okay, we are at the breaking point. We have to just double click, sorry for delay, and then here we also one break point here also. So let's just see what will happen here. So let's turn our debugger. Here you can see that we are here system.out.println and system.out.println. You can see it is also one function println, and now we can relate that function concept, like when we do s.something, so we are calling that function, and when we do we do not cover LLs yet, so when we do s.character, so again we are calling that function. So here we have println as a function and add as a method. So first of all our program will, so okay, I have to do system.out.println, and println itself expect one input argument as a any data type. So here we call that add function. So our program will pause here and then go to that add function, add point. So if I run this now, I have to step into, so you can see that it go println, then my program is go to that add function, and here my a and b variable are here, and if I'm going here, so you can see that one sum variable will created in the memory, and then it will return. So at the end it will return, and if I run, then system.out.println print the answer in the console, and if I at the end, you can see our all variable are clear, and in the output we get 44. So this our function call will happen here. So I am focusing on it more because it is very important, I guess, because understanding of the function is much required in the programming. So I hope I am able to convey the message of function to you. So we done first step, then we run second 1.2, then we also learn that second part. Okay, let me just close that VS Code video window, and now we are have that we have to write a function which will print z 5 times. So what do you think what we can do for that? So let's just create, and you can see that here for printing z 5 times we do not have to return anything, so we just return void, then we here we create one print z function. You can name anything, but it should follow that function creating, like here you can do not write here one because it is invalid syntax, invalid for that formula. And here let's just make more general. We get any character, we get int count is referred to how many times you want to print, then we loop create one loop I equal to 0, I less than c count count I plus plus, and we are going to just print that character only. So here we have to write system.out.println, not println, we have to write c, What is the difference between print and println? Let's just see right now. You have to just comment out this, and I am writing that print. We have to call, we have to pass one character. Let's just pass 7, and we have to print that 5 times. So it is now mode, and just run it. You can see that in output we get z at 5 times. Here you can see that our next value is printed in the same line. That line break did not happen here. If I writing ln, then every z will be in the new line. So this is basic difference between println and print function. Now I can say that I am calling that function because we know what it function now. So we create second part also we done. Then okay, function overriding. Okay. So till this point, let's just call one function in the another function. So here, if I want to also print that system.out.println, and then let's just call c comma add. We have add function, and here we are going to print 12 comma count. And if I run now, so what do you think? What is output? You can see that we call one function in another function, and you can do nesting as for your choice, because in many programs or in general we have to write many function, and we have to make that change so that if anyone wants to understand the function, so it easily refer by them, and it is very useful to write from more function in your code, so that by the and then if you are calling that function to, and just make sure if you are giving the function name, then make sure it is a point to point, like the function name should suggest what the function will do. Like here you can see that in Java we have print function itself is saying that I'm going to print something in the console or in the terminal, and ln means I am always break that next output to the next line. Okay, I will always append that /n character at the end of my output. So you can see that we have to write function name as per our code understanding, and if someone is showing the code, then it is really understand to him or her so what function is doing. And at the end, write comment are the best practice. So we write our function, and here it is not just that we are able to use int or character or float only. You can use anything, like you can use object, you can use class, anything. Okay, you cannot use, okay, you can use anything as a class, as an input, and as a class as output in the Java. Like like till this point we do not run class, but you can also pass array here. Like here, let's say my add is this, and I am summing that first value only. So here you can see that there is no function which will add. So here I have to pass one int array. Let me just create that array. New int size will be 2 only, and ARR of 0 will be 12. And here I can pass ARR, and you can see that we create function which will take array as input, and our output will be same only. So it is very so we learn. You can see that in the input argument we can pass anything, and in the output in the return type also we can return array also, we can return string also, you can return character also, we can return anything, but it should be a class or data type in the Java. Like you cannot write here int xyz, because it do not make any sense, because there is no data type like int xyz here. So this is all about basic of function, and let's just learn what is overriding. And there are two basic concepts will comes in the function. One is overriding and one is overloading. So here overriding, and sixth one is, let's say here overriding we do not learn right now, because it will come in the picture when we learn classes and inheritance parts. So here overloading will come into the picture. Function overloading. What is function overloading? Let's say our we have two function and both function name are same, then based on the input argument our that specific function will call, and this process will call function overloading. Sorry. So what I'm saying, let's say here we have one add function. which will accept one array and one number. And let's say I have another add function and which will accept one int, and again it will do sum only. We do not do any complex thing in this video because learning function is very important than do complex things. And here we are going to call this function, and in another part we are going to call this array type function. And just I am copy pasting the same code here, and you can see the and let's just pass another value here, 212 122, and here we are going to pass again 32. You can see that what will happen. We have both function and same name, but input argument are differ, and based on input argument our different function will call. So let me just debug for you. Or double click when this function will call, when this function will call, and then what happened with this printf and what happened with this printf. So let's just debug. Oh, okay, let's just call first our println function will call, and in that println you can see that our program will go this add function because it accepts two integer as input argument. And here you can see that we have a as 1 to 2 and b as 32, and then it will calculate the sum, return that sum, and print that sum in our output. So here in the console you can see that 154 it will be printed. Then we create one array in the memory, then we assign 12 to its first index, then we pass add array to b, then println is a function, and you can see that this add function will call based on input argument. Then again I am run. You can see that sum will be calculated as 44, it is returned, and in the output and after the println execute, in the output we get 44. So this is a basic idea behind function overloading. Console at the end we get 154 and 44. So let me just remove that red dot, and you can see that we learn function overloading also. And here you can have as many function overloading function has have, and but you have to just remember if the function has same input type, and here if my function is different return type, so it will, and here I have to just write the thing will be return date. So here you can see that so my return time are different, but here I cannot do that because function overloading will come into a picture when two functions have same name and their input argument are different. The return type may or may not be same, it is not that case, but input or name, one of them is input name is same, and input argument must be differ for creating that function overloading function. So let me just remove, and let's just create another function with this. And here it's not just that we have to only have two argument. If I have third argument here, then it is also in the category of overriding. Here I can add this c, and here I will call another function. Let's just make very simple sum 1 plus 2 plus 3. You can see that my IDE also suggests okay Jill, there is one function add which accept 3 integer as input argument and will return sum of them. So here in the output of second line we get 6. So this is all about function overloading. We function calling, we see here we call that function with add a name. So okay, there is lots of things are covered in this video, so I am again repeating all the things for you, and there is not much code we write in this video, but yeah, understanding of the function is very important, and I hope I am able to convey my message to you. Let me just repeat again. What is function? Function is something like which will accept input variable and give some output in the y variable, or just do some processing with that input variable and print something in the terminal or anything and do some work for us. And one of the major use of function, and it is if we have more functions, so our code will be more readable for any other one, or for us only, and we can write comment for what that function do specific task. Then one of the main another use of that, it is very useful for write less code and more effective and more understanding code. Then we learn how to create the function, what are the main things in while you creating any function in any language. First is return type, then another one is input argument, and third one with the function name. And then we learn as input and a return type, it can be anything, but it should be the primitive or class in the Java. I'm talking about specific in the Java. Like in Python you can return anything, but in Python, latest update on Python, we also have that return type, but do not focus it on, we talk about Java only. So then we learn how to create the function. We create our first ever function which used for add the two number. Then we learn how we can print anything in the system.out.println, and can print in the function. And we learn what is void, what is data return type. Then we learn function overloading, and at the end function calling. So I'm giving you the two tasks, and which is very important for understanding of the concept of function. Let me just write insert. You have to first exercise, then we have second exercise, and we have third exercise. For the first one, what I can give you, right, okay, WRIT, write a function for get sum of input ARR. Then one of the basic write function for f of x equal to x cube, and write function in recursive function here. And then we have to write function for convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, and vice versa if you want to do it, and write that function. And if you are able to write, then tweet that thing, because learning in public is an important thing. So just this is for video, this is it for this video, and we cover most of our function. In the next video we are going to learn most important thing for the TSA part, recursion, and we will debug all the things and learn what the recursion will do for us. So till this, happy coding, and I will catch up in the next video. So have a nice day, or have a nice night if you are saying in the night. Okay, so bye, and we will catch up in the next video. So till then, happy coding.